we may kind of overlook. For example, if a single parent, has a couple little kids, first of all, their income oftentimes is way down. Also, just day-to-day challenges of snow plowing when there's a snowstorm. I mean, there's all kinds of things that if the community is aware that somebody is struggling, I believe, and it's the belief of the people who are sponsoring this, that people will come forward and be willing to pitch in to help their neighbors. There was a lot of interest in the cities in Ramsey County who are interested in, kind of taking this and running with it and figuring out what we can do. There's also interest in having Ramsey County step in to help coordinate or help provide information to the cities or assistance, and how do you get something like this going. And I really think that this is an appropriate thing for us to do. We've got some staff in the Veteran Services who are very, very busy. It's not like they're sitting around looking for things to do, but Maria did indicate an interest in helping. And then also, again, tying in with some of our other departments, whether it's Workforce Solutions or Human Services or Public Health or whatever, to kind of have a tie-in with what kinds of things might be helpful for our staff to be aware of when dealing with the families of the military in our community. One thing that I learned, which I didn't realize, that Minnesota, although we're 23rd in terms of the population of the country, we're 5th in terms of active military personnel. Mm-hmm. We have, we really take our role very seriously, and it's something that I think we should all be very proud of, that people step forward in Minnesota and tend to be very patriotic and so on, but there's a gap here in what is happening with the families that are kind of left behind. So I think that this is something that with a little creativity and getting people together, in a way it kind of reminds me of the Active Living Ramsey County, where this is an issue that everybody is aware of, and it's just a matter of kind of putting some organizational structure together to help people become more aware of what resources are available, and encourage the local communities to run with it and to figure out how they can best provide the support in their own local communities. So there were some volunteers that expressed interest at the Ramsey County League meeting. It was discussed that Ramsey County League can play a role in kind of helping to coordinate as well. But I just wanted to mention, that Ramsey County was encouraged to play a role in this.
Madam Chair, just 3 things. Is one, it is so overdue that we're looking at the realities of veterans and/or their families as they return home. And I think Commissioner Bennett and Commissioner Ortega had already almost signed me up to do the yellow ribbon because they really wanted to do that. But the thing of it is I also think that you've got American Legions and VFWs in every community almost, and this could be almost a reinvigoration for some of them, because if you read their newsletters, which I get 2 or 3 of them a month, is they're going to the hospitals, they're doing those bakes, they're getting that baked goods over, because one of the things was, how do you just do it together? I think Maria, when she started talking, she starts out very, very deliberate. And yet, the more she talked, the more enthusiastic she got, because she really takes it personal. And the one thing about what has happened in our Veteran Service Office is it's that one-to-one contact of being able to help the veteran and or their family link up with all the services. And, so it was not trying to overwhelm her and her office, and I think we were all looking at, but it was how do you get the volunteerism that is tantamount to excellence in Minnesota, is how do you get them to know about the needs of other veterans, and how to do that. And if we can be that. She also said, give me a call. If you know something, then that, I also think that the coordinator for the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon is a spark plug 101. And I think that she can add some vibrance to this, that it is minimal additional, but it's making sure. I haven't told Denise and Mary Lou this, but one of the municipalities said, and we'd like one of those homes too, you know, and the thing of it is there was also some very great pride in Victoria did a phenomenal job of sort of talking about what we had done as an HRA with minimal dollars, but also maximizing volunteers, which were mainly the unions, and getting neighborhood participation. And so it was a very dynamic discussion, and I don't think that it will go away. And I think there was a commitment by almost all of the municipalities to do something to go forward with this. Joe Murphy was there and North Oaks was there, and you know, and you saw some energy, and I think as that energy grows, then we'll know the correct role for us to play.
Commissioner Tucker, did you have additional?
Yeah, I do have a couple of additional things. Last week at the library board meeting, they had an extensive discussion about the closing of the Arden Hills Library, which is scheduled for the end of December, and then the reopening of the new library, which will be located in the New Brighton Family Service Center. Originally, when we had talked about this, we were thinking it was about a 6 to 7 month gap. It sounds now like that's not going to be possible, that it's going to be longer than that, up to a year. And so they had a lengthy discussion about whether to try to reconsider, keep the existing Arden Hills Library open longer, or go ahead with the plans to completely close and have some kind of temporary interim services that might be available. And just to make a very long story very, very short, is to say that they concluded to continue with the existing plan of closing the Arden Hills Library December 31st, even though it looks like it's going to be a longer interim before the other library would be able to be open because of just construction
More than a year?
schedules. Not more than a year, but it may be up to a year. So,
and if I could just add, I was there because the White Bear Lake Task Force had been invited to present information, which they did. But I was so impressed with our library board members. They really went in depth. They really discussed every aspect of it, and I think we should be really proud of our library board members.
and concluded that the cost savings, you know, there were just a whole variety of different issues to consider, but so there's not they had at one point considered coming back to the county board asking for more money for an interim, you know, solution, and they concluded not to do that. So just so you know that was kind of the gist of that. Also, the White Bear Lake Task Force did come in, and there's a very active group in the city of White Bear Lake who are currently exploring what the potential for a change in their current library for downtown White Bear Lake. And the reaction from the library board was, you know, thank you very much for your interest. It's probably a little bit premature for us to be talking about this. This is not in the plan for the near future, but, you know, really appreciate the interest and involvement of all the citizens who love the library so much that they are that they're spending their time exploring this.
Well, and if I could just comment, the task force has always known that, so it was nice to have that invitation so that you could get to know who the people were and what was going on and what they're thinking. So, but it has always been the understanding that it would be a couple of years.
And then, Madam Chair, I have one more issue. Last week at the MAAA board meeting, I did make a motion to reconsider the decision about contracting with the Presbyterian Homes for the home delivered meals program, and I did not get a second. However, we did have a lengthy discussion about it, and the feeling of the board is that they have made this decision, they've gone through the process, they didn't want to reopen the process at this time, but they are going to be looking at it in 3 months. So rather than waiting till the end of the year, they're going to be, carefully monitoring. Now, there is going to be a public hearing. We had requested that there be a public hearing prior to the contract being finalized. However, they have now scheduled a public hearing for November 30th, which is a Tuesday, next Tuesday, is it already? From 2 to 5 at the Maplewood Library.
Okay.
Okay?
It's on your-
Well, I think it is important to just talk about the value in the community and to verbally express what has been expressed in the emails. The MAAA board members will be there listening, as well as the staff, and I think that this is an important opportunity.
And I just want to say thank you for your perseverance in this, and, to even get that was so important for people to be able to have a setting where they can talk. And it wouldn't have happened without you.
Well, this is a very beloved service in the community, which goes very deep. It's been in place for 35 years, and over the years there have been lots of relationships developed, and you don't just change that overnight. So, I have serious concerns about what will happen in the interim, and we'll talk about that more.
Commissioner Bennett?
Well, let's go into the future first. Next Monday night, 6:30, will be our second public hearing on the budget. The first one was held here at 9 o'clock in the morning about a month ago. This one will be Monday night, November 29th. It will be held at Roseville High School, which is located on County Road B2 between Hamlin and Lexington, and between 36 and B2. It's the first major street about 2 blocks north of Highway 36. Start at 6:30. We'll be in the public will be testifying. They will not be receiving any answers from us, but there will be staff to answer their questions. We'll be in the auditorium for that. All departments from the county will have demonstrations and things in the room across the hall from the auditorium, and you'll be able to talk to people from Parks or from Public Works if you've got any questions, or Human Services, or whatever other area that you might have, like we did last year, except it's going to be 2 separate rooms so that you don't have the noise. You won't have the noise, but then some of the people may not realize that they're another room too, so you might want to steer some of your neighbors and friends over there. Okay, other things. Let's go back into the...
Moment. Commissioner McDonough on
Madam
this?
Chair, our department head's going to be available before the 6:30 start time for the public hearing, so people could arrive early to talk to them and then attend what time?
They'll be there before and after.
What time will they be
Yes.
available?
And
6 o'clock, I think.
6 o'clock.
And we'll continue to
So open house at 6.
Yeah, and a lot of people,
Be there to
if I
set up.
recall last year, a lot of people got up and gave their spiel and then went over and talked to department people. So, and department heads from public,